this video, I want to talk about bragging. I'm going to talk about it in a different kind of way. Now, many of us are told not to brag, okay, but who is telling us not to brag? That's important. And in a way, it has been, there's a normalization of narcissism can be involved in this. Now, of course, we probably all know people or met people who brag about their accomplishments. They're always talking about it when the situation doesn't need or require that. But they're bragging. They're telling everything. Now, those of us who know a bit about like narcissistic, toxic type people, we have a good understanding that these are probably the narcissist, or maybe the narcissistic type, and they're trying to state their accomplishments. And these accomplishments can actually be things that are bad too. But they're trying to put forth some kind of something that you will eventually believe. They want you to believe it in some way, shape, form, or fashion. Okay, and actually at least in the DSM-IV, one of the criteria for narcissism, it's one of the many they have to meet 5, I think, of maybe 9, I think it's number 1. Not as in number 1 as it's most important, but number 1 on the list, is basically they want people to respect them and to honor them, or to whatever it is, an accomplishment that they haven't even made. Like, it would be the same as if somebody said they're a doctor, and they give you, they've never been to medical school, but they want you to believe it because, say, they've been hurt, they fell down, and they, like me, I fell on my, hurt my knees really bad, and I've been taking care of it, nursing it. Am I a nurse? No. But these are the type that will brag about that they have been through this, and they healed themselves and all that. So, yeah. Sorry about that. My phone just kind of went beep. You saw it. But yeah, then they'll say, therefore they, or whatever it is, They want the recognition for something they haven't done. They haven't done the work for. And so that one of the ways they do it is they brag. They find ways to brag about themselves, that they've accomplished this, they've accomplished that, which is not the criteria needed. I mean, not the credentials they need. So, we know that type, and that type would be wrong. Okay, then you have the ones who've actually done the work, who've actually gone to medical school, got their license, and or whatever it could be, like counselor, got their license. And if they mention it, that type will get angry and say that person's bragging. You see what I'm saying? They'll say they're bragging, and they'll cut them down, and they'll tear them down in whatever way, shape, form, or fashion they can. And so they're taught to downplay their accomplishments. Okay, and it goes the same for somebody who's a voice of authority on something. Okay, who's actually done the work. And I'm going to use myself as an example. And how many of you are going to say I'm bragging? But when I worked on my master's degree, at the end I had to take comps. Okay, comprehensive exams. And I had 2 areas of specialization. Okay, one was gender studies, and the other one was multiculturalism. And there's another term for it altogether, but I had to choose one that they were going to, give me an exam on, and they could pull anything out of any part of it. So I really had to know my stuff. Okay, that was only one part of the comps. I had 2 others. Okay, so one was gender studies. That meant both male and female. I had to know about both males and females. And one of the things that was in it was that females are taught, one of the things in all those studies, females are taught to downplay their accomplishments all around. I'm talking about the United States. And so if someone like me, someone who has a master's degree, a bachelor's with a double major, if I say this, people say, yeah, she's bragging. Okay. Now, this situation right now that I'm talking about needs something to say, okay, this is where she got this information. You see what I'm saying? But the people who are the narcissistic type, they don't want anybody else to have any recognition for anything. So they will teach people, if somebody talks about their accomplishments, they're bragging. it's fine and dandy if they do it, right? You know? But even when the situation calls for that kind of, that kind of backup, that kind of history, that kind of why a person would see it this way, doesn't matter. Okay, and one thing they will really get angry with is if they say, they're going around saying that they're this and they're that, and they don't have what it takes to be that, and you say no, you do. You do have that. You say no, that's not true. Oh man, narcissistic injury. Then what comes after that? Narcissistic rage. How dare you? How dare you? And they will find ways to use. You got it. The smear campaign. They'll oh my goodness, just go crazy with it because you dare to say that you know more when you actually do know more. Okay, so you got how many of us have actually seen this in action, and we've actually downplayed our accomplishments, and maybe even if we, like me, even if we know that's what it is, we have been taught, we have been beaten down, with this, that you don't talk about your accomplishment, so you don't. It's like me, when I do my resume, I leave it out. I leave out my education. I have had so much backlash from it. It's unbelievable. If I put it on there, it's unbelievable. And I've been told things like, one of my sisters, she's in management. I had two sisters that were in management, and one was a business owner. But in management told me that she had a boss that would not hire anybody who was degreed. And this is a field that you might want to have a degree. And she said, but she won't hire anybody because she doesn't want anybody to be smarter, okay? To have more accomplishments than she. Yeah, what kind of person does that? Really think about it. Okay, and the same thing goes for somebody who's working toward that. Working toward the credentials they need. Whatever it is, it could be they don't have to go to college, but they get some kind of credentials, certifications and whatever, and they are working toward it. Now, I had the experience, when I was younger, that of what back then they called non-traditional age students. Okay, remember, I taught at college and university too, and when I was getting my bachelor's degree, I believe it was, there was a woman. She was, I think, she was past retirement age, and she was going back to get her degree. That's what she wanted to do, to get another degree, and it was something that I saw young, and it was like, yes, good for you. But I've also known people who will look at somebody and say, oh, what age you are, or you realize what you're doing. What type of person would think that way? What type of person would say something to somebody that because they're not, young, therefore they need to forget it? No. And when it comes down to it, it's all about, part of it's about, at least, that they don't want somebody else to have an accomplishment, so that they're the only ones who can shine. They want everybody to see them. They're on the spotlight. They're the ones that are accomplished, even when they're not accomplished. Okay, I can't say that more. Read the DSM, the criteria. You'll see it, really. But anyway, this has been on my mind. It goes in and out, especially when I see people say that they can do something that the professionals can do. They can do it better. They're not a professional, but they won't say that they're really not a professional. They'll find ways to make you believe that they're a professional when they're not. And the damage they can do to people, Seriously. Anyway, that's enough for this video for now. I'll do one every once in a while, you know me. But if you want to subscribe to this channel, click the circle. If you want to watch another video on this channel, click one of the rectangles. Like, subscribe, share, comment if you want. I'll talk to you on another video. Bye.